What is going on, everyone? MVP here, bringing you guys week 5 of the NES Season 2 for your Detroit Darkrais. And this week we are taking on Rest in Peace HBK and the Minnesota Volcaronas. Now, this week we are 1-3. We are looking for a win this week to get back on track. Rest in Peace, I believe, undefeated or with one loss. I believe they have one loss so far in the season, so very good team. They are new to the league this season, so it's definitely been fun to watch their team play this season. One of their biggest threats, Mega Alakazam, leading the league at about 11-1 in terms of KD, so very strong, been making very good use. And a few of the pokes we're going up against this week haven't been brought, so it's going to be a pretty tough week. New opponent we haven't faced before, and some Pokemon we haven't seen him use at all, and his team. But anyways, let's get to our team. So first, we have Porygon 2. We're just running a standard full special defensive set this week with Eviolite. Amoonguss running more of a full defensive set this week. Metagross, very bulky physical attacker this week. Mostly investment in HP, special defense and defense with Assault Vest. Azelf, physical attacker. We have Granbull, another physical defensive mon, full HP, full defense, a little bit of attack. And then Charizard X, just supposed to be more of a physical sweeper, bringing the Tailwind to support the rest of the team this week. So let's get right into the battle. So to start off, we see the Azelf versus Muck. So very good prediction on his part for the lead. Probably should have gone with something different, because Azelf can be very common sometimes, and I was going to go for a U-turn here, but I decided to hard switch instead for whatever reason, and he hits me with the Pursuit. So unfortunately, I lose Azelf right off on the first turn, so very unfortunate for us. I believe, I looked up after the battle, I believe U-turn also does get hit by Pursuit before you leave, so regardless, my only play, I did pack the Explosion. The only play that I could have made that was best for me was to use Explosion, but I wouldn't be willing to give up Azelf on the first turn just to trade with a Muck. So unfortunately, we lose the Azelf there. So we decided to bring in Charizard X to apply some quick pressure. So here we set up the Tailwind. He brings in Shuckle, which has obviously been a pretty good piece of his team throughout this season. So I bring in Amoonguss to try and counter the Shuckle a bit, but he switches out. Like I said, Shuckle, he's actually made Shuckle very good. Used it very well this season, I must say. So good on his part. So now he brings the Muck back in to eat up a Toxic, which is a good switch on his part. I go for the Spore here, and now I decide to switch back out into my Charizard X, try and get some more offensive pressure off. I go for the Flibrats here, almost picking up the KO on the Muck. It does wake up, does get a knockoff out, but it's not KOS, so I go for a Roost here, try to get some health back. He goes for a Poison Jab. He switches out. Luckily enough, no poison for us, so I go for the Dragon Claw, hoping to pick up the KO there. But he switches into the Shuckle, so I think it's time to Roost up. Goes for the Toxic, so that puts a timer on my Zard X, unfortunately. I go for a Fliblets. I need to get as much damage. 40%, which is looking good at the moment, because then another Flare Blitz would take him out, but unfortunately he goes for the Power Split. So actually looking at some of his other gameplays, he has used Power Split before, and that has been a great tactic by him. I've never thought about that. I've ran other different Shuckle sets before. Basically, Power Split, we share our attack stats or special attack stats with each other, and so essentially because Shuckle's attack stat is so low, Charizard X is so high, we're going to kind of meet in the middle. Mine's going to get lowered a lot, and his is going to get raised a lot. Not that it matters for him to get raised, but it lowers mine a lot. So that was good on his part. So now I'm just weaker. I'm just going to spam Flare Blitz here to hopefully take the Shuckle out. But unfortunately, between Toxic and Infestation damage, my Zard X goes down here. And so I decided to bring in Metagross to hopefully clean up the Shuckle, go for the Bullet Punch, super effective damage, and do pick up the KO there. So now he brings in Donphan. I decided to switch out into Granbull, which is my response to any physical threats. Unfortunately, he gets a critical hit and does about 70% damage to me through his Intimidate, so that was very bad for us, because now one more Earthquake will finish this off. I suspected him to have been a Banded set afterwards, but, you know, what can we do now with such a low Granbull? So I have to leave him in at this point. Or I didn't have to leave him in. This point in the battle was pretty bad for me. This is kind of when I lost kind of my composure a bit. This match got really ugly for me, I felt like. And so I just bring in my Metagross as a response to Donphan. Donphan has a huge defense stat, so he can tank up my Metagross. aggro spit. I do have the ice punch, but as you can see here, like I don't even do half damage, which is very bad for me, and then he can just take my earthquake. I just kind of said screw it and went for the ice punch again. Stacking up my Metagross, which is probably the wrong option to go with here. I should have probably gone into my Amoonguss, but regardless, that is what happened. So I bring my Porygon 2. He goes for an ice shot, just strike off any other damage. I go for an ice pick, pick up a KO with the Porygon 2. So now, obviously, we're down to our 2 tanks. It's not looking too good for us. He's got his Staraptor, Savale, well, very weak in Muck, and Alakazam. He brings his Staraptor. I should have switched here. He goes for the final Gambits. It should have been a switch for me there. I was fearing that he would predict my switch into Amoonguss and go for a Great Bird, so I decided to stay in with Porygon. Plus, I had a special attack boost and didn't want to lose that. I kind of get caught up on the special attack boost or any kind of boost a little too much and trying not to switch out what I stayed in. This definitely could have survived my final Gambit and then switch back out for the Generator. But anyways, I lose my Porygon 2 here. He loses his Staraptor. It's an Alakazam, Amoonguss, easy. Down we go, a -3. So, very good game to rest in peace. He brought a very good team this week, countered a lot of my stuff, and just very good strategies. Struggle worked well for him. The final Gambit did a job against Porygon 2. Muck didn't work against myself, and obviously Alakazam for the final cleanup. So, GG's to him. I felt like I played pretty poor this week. Definitely got caught up in the game a bit too much. Kind of lost it a bit. But anyways, we gotta improve. We're currently 1-4 now with only 7 weeks to go. We can still improve to 8-4, make a very good push for the playoffs, even though that's very unlikely. We still need to go about 5-2 to hit even on the season, and then there might be a chance to make the playoffs. But even though it's only the 5th week, there's still playoff talk to be had. And if we don't turn the team around, we'll be in some trouble. So, one thing that I have done to hopefully change our luck a bit, I have made a free agency trade. So I have dropped Heatran, which was our tier 1 Pokemon. I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of good use out of it, or I feel like it could be better, but I don't feel like it's doing what it can. So I dropped it for the Heligo, the first Ultra Beast, Generation 7, Poison Rock type, high speed, high special attack, 3 special attack points lower than Heatran, so it'll still be packing a punch, and it has good coverage, rock and poison, stab, sludge bomb, power jump, very good. The Heligo is looking very good to do well against some of our opponents in the next few weeks, so I'm hoping to get a lot of work out of the Heligo. So anyways guys, thank you for watching. It's been a few tough weeks right now, so hopefully we can get out of this slump.